what's up, everybody? I'll be today's host, but don't worry, Porter's still here.
Oh, is that my turn? Oh, I'm sorry, Danny.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
And more importantly, producer Joey is definitely here.
Oh, what a dick.
Because she needs to keep the lights on and the ice cream frozen.
That's right.
You know, we are going to do it a little different, and we will explain why shortly. I promise. I won't talk your ear off too much, because you definitely don't want to hear that. But we're going to start off with a little question. How did you guys like the music?
He's waiting for an answer.
They can't hear you.
They can hear him. We can't hear them.
That doesn't sound right.
What did you guys think?
Am I doing a good job?
You
Am I doing a good job being the Danny today?
Oh, man.
The shoe is on the other foot. How does it feel, Danny?
I'm so glad this is only temporary.
No, like you said, Danny, we're trying something new with the music. We're switching it up. We're seeing what we like, what we don't like.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to just speak for me, but I don't know if I am just speaking for me. You know, that our original theme, that was nice, you know, but I think we're at a point now where it's time for something new.
Yeah.
And so we're trying a few. We'll make a decision when we're ready, but if you guys got thoughts on it, you know, hit us up on the forums, get us on the Discord, you know, all that. But back to host Daniel Tyson.
Yeah, well, you know what? We started with it. We might as well pivot to you and let you take care of the business.
Ooh, he threw that ball right back in your lap.
He did.
Yeah, but nobody wants to hear me say this. All right, in the business of the business, you're already, I don't want to say good at it, but...
Oh, no,
burn.
no, we wouldn't want to
Hold on.
Of course.
Hold on.
This guy.
I am saying you are way better at it than I am. So...
But you're still not good at it.
I'm still not good at it. No. I'm walking, what, 20 weeks now, 20 episodes?
Oh, yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. And that's fine. No good, thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
It's some good friendsmanship.
Well, if you're going to be the Danny, someone's got to give you shit.
That's a good point.
That is true.
That is a good point, you know, because... You know.
So, on to the business.
Yeah, on to the business. By the way, thank you for tuning in to Rage Across the Internet, which is the name of the show.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that.
What?
Oh, shit.
But what a disaster. I love it.
This is a hot mess all over the place.
It really is. It's, you know, it's like a room full of banana peels and rakes, and we're just, yeah.
Temporary.
No, but we do good. We got some stuff on deck. First things first. Quick thank you to John and Nicole for their donations.
All right.
And that was with the old donation button.
Yes.
Which, hey, is still around if that's how you want to do your thing. But, you know, we do have the Patreon now.
Yes.
And, you know, it's worth noting that anyone who did use the donate button before the Patreon was there, they are grandfathered in for rewards for that month.
Okay.
But to my understanding, we still got the donate for the time being.
Yep.
If that's how you want to do it. But now that the Patreon's here, you do not get Patreon rule because you've made that decision. Mm-hmm. It's a little confusing. I just want to make that clear. That said, we are this is week 2 under the Discord.
3.
Week 3 under the Discord, week 2 under the Patreon.
Yes.
And, you know, obviously the Patreon can always be a work in progress. If there's, you know, we're always open to ideas, which is cool. The Discord, though, if you haven't been on there, holy shit, you need to get over there.
It is popping.
It's been a lot of fun.
Holy hell, I didn't expect to be that much that fast.
And we're on there.
Yeah.
we're around. We're maybe around too much.
Well, we weren't really sure how it was going to happen, so we were, you know, all three of us keeping an eye on it. Where could we be? Who's going to be there? And then, boom, out of fucking nowhere.
It's been a really good time, and yeah, you guys if you haven't been there yet, the invite there is in our forums. And if you haven't been to our forums yet, come on.
What the hell are you waiting for?
Yeah, right. Listen, this is Danny saying it. So it's time. Quit screwing around.
It's a good time. Be there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not there for 5 or 6 hours because I'm sleeping, I've already missed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good time, and again, it's all part of joining and being a part of our online community. We want you there. You'll have a good time, probably. If not, we'll make it work. It'll be good. Come see us. Come hang out with us. Anything else?
The contest?
Oh, the contest. So we mentioned before that we, wanted to give a little something back and give some of that sweet drive-through RPG credit back to you guys and listeners. And we weren't quite sure what that would look like, but we do know what that will look like now. So we're going to share that with you. How this is going to work is the winners, there's going to be 2 winners, first and second place. Mm-hmm. And those will be a random drawing. We're going to draw that out of a hat, probably the same tribal hat. So the winner could be, Dave Mustaine and Child of Gaia. But we'll figure,
Whoa.
Well, I don't see us bothering to empty the hat first is the thing. So
the winner is not going to be Child of Gaia. I will empty the hat.
And it's South Park. Why is this even here? What asshole put South Park in the tribe bin?
Okay, so
yes.
How do people get their names in the hat?
Here's the fun thing, for us at least. Okay. To enter, number 1, you have to be a member of our forums.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to post a screenshot in the thread that will be created. Mm-hmm. And so how you enter is you post a screenshot of you shilling for the podcast, advertising, giving us a shout out somewhere that is not the Werewolf the Apocalypse Facebook group.
Okay.
We already have a presence there. We're already there. They're sick of hearing of us already. You're, somewhere else. And
the rules and everything will be in that forum thread where they...
It will. And I mean, it's pretty simple. It's 1 for 1.
Okay.
If you want to put down 100 screenshots, well, you still only get 1 entry.
Good to know.
We'll take 100 screenshots.
Whatever's in your heart, man. But first prize is going to be $10 store credit from Drive-Thru RPG. Mm-hmm. Second prize will be $5 store credit from Drive-Thru RPG.
All right.
Just a little something that we can give back that will help, build your library up a bit.
Now, when does the contest start?
The contest starts next week, and that's going to be August 4th.
Okay.
It's going to go through the entire month of August. Mm-hmm. And we will announce the winners on September 1st, the September 1st show.
All right.
And keep an eye on the forums, because that's when, as soon as you see in the forums, you know it started.
Yep. The 4th of August.
4th of August.
And I mean, look, if you're the 3rd of August, you post a screenshot. If the thread's there, it's there. It's not really you didn't get like an advantage because but it's a little something we thought it'd be fun to give back, and also, hey, it'll help us get the word out. So get out there and bother people from other avenues of the internet and tell them how great we are.
Awesome.
Jesus Christ, that's a sentence.
We have a lot of those weird sentences.
Man.
And that's why Porter's the one to do the business.
Phrasing?
Yes.
You gotta buy me dinner first, man.
No.
But let's back to our temporary host.
Because that's enough of the business.
That's right. Daniel the Mouth Tyson. Daniel?
The mouth?
The mouth of the South?
Wow.
No.
Kind of like northeast.
Northeast, I'll take that. All right, well, why we have a temporary host, Daniel Tyson, today, and not just Porter. We're going to talk about the crescent moons today, the Theurges. And while I am not a Theurge, Porter and Joey both have played Theurges, so we're going to try and ask them the questions and have them give out the temporary answers.
No, I think they're permanent answers.
Yeah, I feel like those answers aren't going to just change.
I write in pen, so it's,
Depends on the question.
Crayola, man, that's hard to get rid of.
That is, yeah.
That's why whenever we Crayola something in, it's permanent. All right. So, the crescent moons. Tell me about them.
Well, okay.
That's a broad question.
Right? Just fucking... You've seen the show before, right? So the Theurge is, obviously, it's the crescent moon.
Okay.
They are the seers. They have a great many fucking jobs in the nation.
Right.
But they're the ones who maintain the bonds of the spirit. They keep an eye on their rights, enact those. There's a lot on their plate.
Yeah, they have a huge job description. They're the mystics. God.
Spiritual leaders, advisors.
As well as, 10-foot tall murder machines when they need to be.
Garu's got a Garu.
Yes. I like the phrase, the mystics of the Garu Nation. That's kind of one of my favorites as I was researching. Because I am not a Theurge. I pay very little attention to what Theurges do other than our own games.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes, it is. But had to have something to talk about for today. So yeah, that's, like I said, I like the mystics of the Garu Nation. So
I like them too.
All right. Again, so you've both played Theurges.
Mm-hmm.
And Porter, I believe you said Theurge was your favorite Auspice.
Oh yeah. I love big fan of the Theurges.
Okay. So then, because Porter said it's his favorite, he'll go first.
Cool.
Why did you pick Theurge?
Well, that was a long time ago, damn.
That was your first character, right?
No, that was my second character, Sekhmet Rainmaker.
Okay.
My first one was a Get Out round, like everybody else's.
Not mine.
This seems easy. No. Silent Strider Theurge, Sekhmet Rainmaker. I took it because there's so much more when you factor in the spirit realm. I mean, it's the Umbra in its own vastness is a thing, and then there's the ritualistic side of the nation and all these rites that can just get swept under the rug. Mm-hmm. And then dealing with the spirits and how interesting that is. It's just all these extra levels. I mean, there's, like I said, there's a lot on their plate, and there's a lot of extra duties by being a Theurge, but that's kind of the reward.
Right.
You can really think out of the box. You can really do some cool shit if you're, let's say, Theurge-minded, I guess. Yeah,
and I like the phrase Theurge-minded because
you just rolled your eyes, though.
That's just my natural reaction to you.
I don't like being Danny. I don't like the Danny seat.
He's in the Danny seat today. Anyway, where was I?
Theurge-minded,
yeah. It does take a different mindset to play a Theurge. You have to think in spirit types and really be able to figure out how they talk and what their metaphors are. What will insult them, what will, encourage them. And on top of that, you've got the rights, you've got the duties, you've got your pack pulling at you 9 ways to Sunday, and then you got to go and save Gaia as well.
Yeah, you got a job to do. And then, I think every time that there's a question about the Umbra, everyone looks at the Theurge. Mm-hmm. So, you should know, you should know your shit. I've always been, I know what you're fucking talking about. If you don't, though, they're still looking at you.
Oh, yeah. So you better make something up quick.
And that's the thing is there are rules. And there are always rules, and those rules are always the same unless they're not, which sounds like what am I talking about, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
There's so much vastness in things that it doesn't follow regular logic all the time, and you have to be prepared for that.
Right. Any examples?
Well, there's plenty. The first thing, and we're getting a little maybe Umbra here.
Yeah.
But the first thing I think about is Flux, which is the realm of the wild and everything's a nightmare. But let me tune that back and talk maybe more specifically about spirit dealing, so I don't confuse the issue.
Okay.
And it's like Joey said, you were talking about how you do have to talk to spirits differently depending on what they are. Mm-hmm. There are spirits that have no concept of past or even future. They're and everything understands things from the context of itself.
Right.
You know, you can't talk to a rock spirit about an airplane. What the fuck is an airplane?
Well, and like, you know, to a fire spirit, trying to describe, you know, getting old, you'd say something like, my flame grows dim.
It's nice.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
You certainly couldn't go, man, look, I'm turning 50 tomorrow.
My back hurts. You know, they don't get it.
Yeah, what's a back? What do you even, what's wrong with you?
No, that fire one, that's good. I'm going to save that one for later.
What?
I don't know, just an
Okay.
example to keep in mind. I like
Oh, no, okay. As an example, I was like, what are you doing with that later?
I don't want to know. Please turn the camera and mic off for that. That's your personal business.
And double check, as Danny will spy on your shit.
All right, so Porter's character was Sekhmet Rainmaker.
That's right.
How about you, Joey?
Oh, Jasmine Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty crazy. That was fun. I think you've actually encountered Jasmine.
Oh, as one of Porter's now NPCs?
Yeah.
Jasmine rages till sunrise.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
she
one,
was.
that is familiar, not Jasmine Rose.
Well, she went through a couple of changes.
Yes, she did.
So.
Yeah, a little background on that then. Anytime somebody in Porter's story no longer uses that character, Porter takes them and makes them an NPC.
What?
Or makes little tweaks here and there. But
Yeah, it's first of all, it's not every time, and it depends on the character. And yeah, I change things, and I don't just rip people's stuff off. All right, I want to make that clear.
just a little bit.
No, and with Jasmine, I mean, you read the write-up that I wrote for her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it
not
was...
the same as what Porter had.
No, but for the character that I played, I did a write-up, and it was for the weekend game.
Yeah.
And so it was, instead of a one-shot, it was a two-shot.
Yeah, we did a doubleheader that weekend.
Yeah, and,
Jesus.
I flew in for that game.
Yep.
And then when I was done with that weekend, I was basically done with that character.
Yeah, it was just a guest spot character.
So
like, it was almost designed to be meta plot after the fact.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so, I just handed over my character sheet, and we talked about her transformation to an NPC, and I had a lot of input in that.
And then, like,
cool to know.
of course, when you guys met this character, I often like to tweak, like, I'll use the same characters, but I will change, or the same setting, but I will change things. So it's not the same old shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so for that, we took the Jasmine character at a different point in her life.
And turned her into Hurricane Jasmine.
Yeah,
Hurricane Jasmine?
Hurricane Jasmine. It's what we call her.
Sounds awesome.
So, I mean, that differentiates the Jasmine that I played versus the NPC Jasmine. Because
Right.
the NPC Jasmine is Hurricane Jasmine.
Okay.
Because she blows into town and wrecks shit.
Yep.
And then leaves.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, then, going back to your Theurge-minded comment. Sorry.
Okay.
Your Theurge-minded comment. You have a favorite Theurge moment for Jasmine?
Oh, you know not what you ask, good sir.
I'd love to hear it.
We're getting into that already. All right.
All right, that's early in the game for this one. Yeah, so God, what was it? It was some kind of building that they had to get into with the security, and it was just a nightmare. And I saw this 18-wheeler, tractor trailer, and I'm like, yeah, I can use that to break down the wall and get into the building. And I mean, there was no subtlety at this point. Alarms were blaring. Was one of the guys already? Was he already grabbed by the seducer or whatever it was?
I see what you're doing. Okay. That was two different locations.
Okay.
We were doing the
God, this was years ago.
No, it was. So Yeah, you guys had, it was the taints. We're doing some Pentec shit.
Yeah.
Is what was going on. You know, hey, we've tainted the product, you know, making...
But where was the truck?
The truck was in the yard.
Yeah,
because it was
I know.
a distribution center.
Okay.
And it was locked up tight the alarms were not on yet. It was the old place. You guys went in guns a-blazing, which led to the car chase.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they followed it back to the distribution center, which was all kind of locked up, but had not yet sprung an alarm.
Okay. Okay.
And she was looking for ingress.
Yeah, I needed to get in there. And, wasn't able to hotwire the truck or something.
I don't think you even tried.
I was thinking about it. I just didn't have the score. I didn't have the dots on my paper.
Yeah, I don't think you even made the attempt.
There was stuff going on in my brain. Yeah. So, I did the rite of Spirit Awakening.
Okay.
And I woke that truck up.
And then what did you do?
And then I convinced it that there was wide open road on the other side of that building. And it just had to get through that building, through that big wall, and it would be wide open spaces where it could just run.
You convinced the spirit of the truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And he just made a big hole for you. You no longer need a door.
Right. But in the process of making that giant hole in the wall, the truck in the physical realm, oh, it didn't fare so well. Oh, yeah. No, have you ever seen a tractor trailer hit a wall going as fast as it could? It didn't survive.
And of course its spirit didn't do too well either. With the Horde of Banes. So essentially, she woke up the spirit. She gave it life to convince it to kill itself mere seconds later.
Kind of rude.
It was a Hurricane Jasmine moment, okay?
Well, at least you can admit that.
And actually, we'll go back to that in a second too.
Okay.
Because I think of I'm thinking of a story. This wasn't a segment story. Mm-hmm. But this was one. The player was the character was Vidoma Amen.
Yes.
And they were in the Amazon, where a character that was with them had stepped on a landmine. Mm-hmm. And okay, well, we're aware of it. Shit, guys, problem.
It's like that cop TV show where somebody activates a pressure sensor and. Yeah. There's sweat and the bomb squad and everything else.
Right, but of course it's the Amazon.
Right.
So it's not just going to be as simple as, well, we'll deal with the mine. No, other shit's going down. So we got to do this on the quick. So what does Vidoma do? Is she goes and she activates the spirit. She wakes it up. Mm-hmm. And convinces it not to explode when this NPC takes his foot off the mine.
Hey.
He says, hey, I want to go, boom, and she's like, oh, no, it's okay. If you don't now, if you wait... I am going to give you just such an explosion. It's going to be amazing. Something that no one has ever... They'll talk about it forever. And she convinces it. And she's like, yeah. And so she puts this landmine in her fucking backpack.
So she's walking around with an activated, awakened... Landmine in her backpack.
Who she has, again, promised.
That is going to have a most epic explosion.
And, and this thing obviously is not... it wants to explode. That's its purpose. So you can imagine that's not a spirit that's going to be overly patient or intelligent.
Yeah.
I was going to say intelligent because it only knows the one thing.
And they walk that fucking landmine right into Camp Apocalypse.
Oh.
And that is the headquarters. That is the main camp for the War of the Amazon. That's where Gogol, Fangs and Crick Rum Wrangler are. The entire leadership of the Amazon War, and she brings this thing within feet of the man.
Oh my God. How irresponsible.
See, that's what I'm saying. But here we go. All right, and this is why I'm choosing this story. Because I think it's a great example next to the Jasmine story about different, spirit theory.
Yeah.
In Vidoma's case... she made a deal with the spirit.
Yep.
To save a friend. Fine. But she was bound and determined to honor the pact she just made with this spirit.
Yeah.
She would honor her word, and she would do right by it because it's sacred, and it's a sacred duty to do so.
I understand that.
Well, sure. And then the other hand, you have Jasmine, who, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm about to, haha, is well, correct me if I'm wrong here, obviously, was using, the spirit as a means to an end.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can go, well, one of those is abhorrent, one of them isn't, but look.
They're both equally.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it such a great example. Because there's so much gray area in that.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, too, is as a Theurge, there are so many different ways to look at your duties and how to go about them and the theories behind that. So it's why I love those two stories together.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And I was kind of waiting to ask you about Sekhmet, but we can wait a little bit longer because I'm sure you have a Sekhmet story.
I have a couple.
I'm sure. Okay. Then, what does being a Theurge mean to you?
Hope. No, okay.
Wow.
Did you say help or hope?
Hope.
Okay. Well, if he's Danny this week, I was half expecting help.
That's fair.
That's a good golly gee, boss. That's a good point. No. Yeah, I mean, it's a big question.
I know. Look at Danny with these big questions.
I know, he's all grown up.
Oh, see, here's the thing.
He's in the big chair.
I'm in the big chair. Ooh. But we've had almost all these same questions for every Auspice, so why not keep it going? Let's keep it uniform.
No, you're right. I mean, that's the series. That's what this is about. So we're just in the hot seat this time, and we're like, what? Kind of asshole writes that question? Well, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Just come up it, sir. No, being that bridge between the spirit and the physical, being that source of wisdom, in terms of the spirit realm for your pack, that someone, I mean, there's a thirst to understand better than any of the kind of the Gnostic bond between everything. We've talked before about the idea of people using the Umbra as like just a transportation method or a convenient or whatever, and it's not that for a Theurge. Mm-hmm. There's the spirituality of it all. And again the creativity necessary to deal with some of the spirits, and the sky's kind of the limit with that.
Yeah.
There's well, what can you do with the spirits? What can't you do? As long as you're clever and reasonable and
And like Garou are 1/3 man, 1/3 wolf, 1/3 spirit.
That's true.
So the Theurge is the interpreter of that. It's the person that connects them with their spirit.
Not a bad point. Okay, but then my next question is, any Garou can contact spirits, correct?
Kind of.
It's probably a little easier for Theurge.
Well, it's you're going to need to know the rite of spirit summoning. You're going to need to know kind of what you're doing. Depending on the type of spirit, you're going to need spirit speech. And I mean, even then, that's up to your interpretation. And I suppose that's your storyteller's job.
Yeah.
But,
I was thinking, first of all, just spirit speech because, how do you talk to something if it doesn't know how to talk to you?
Right. And I know different groups handle that differently.
Okay.
For ours, I've always been pretty clear that if the spirit couldn't talk to you on a normal day, then you need spirit speech.
Yeah.
A ghost can talk to you. An ancestor spirit can talk to you because it's a thing that could already talk. Mm-hmm. It already spoke English.
Well, and the, what is it? The ephemera spirits that think they're human or whatever?
Sure.
Like, they don't realize that they're spirits.
Right. But again, it falls into that criteria is it could speak to you. The thing that it's a spirit of could speak to you. You can't talk to a squirrel spirit, for example, without spirit speech.
Right. I
mean, that's how I do it to make here's the difference.
Yep.
Because let's look at it this way. How do you talk to your ancestors if you don't have spirit speech? The fuck is it? So no. It could talk. It could talk.
Like, I can go outside and talk to a damn squirrel. It's not going to understand me.
Right.
Or talk back.
Right? If it does talk back, I think that we all have bigger problems.
No, I think you have a bigger problem. But you were saying, Danny.
Well, you know, the question is that any Garu can get into the Umbra. Most Garu could probably talk to spirits or some version of.
Again, provided you have the necessary things.
Right. So if that can happen with anybody, how is Theurge not the most useless of all the auspices?
Theurges do it better.
They're specifically trained for it. Also, let's jump on this. Mother's Touch is a level 1 Theurge gift. Danny, can you think of a time where Mother's Touch may have saved your ass?
Maybe every time.
Maybe he's thinking about one in particular time.
Nothing specific. No, not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
Not at all.
How about all those gifts that you use that you're so fond of? Well, those were taught to you by spirits, and the reason the spirits taught you that is because of the pact between the Garu and the spirits a long fucking time ago, a pact that the Theurges uphold. Let me ask you, how would you uphold that pact, Danny?
With one arm.
I like that answer. What are you? What is a Philodox?
Wow.
How would you,
It's been too long, guys.
Yeah, I know, Jesus, we need to game again. As a Philodox, how would you solve that?
Going to get a Theurge.
Oh!
What?
Yeah. Again, we're trying to keep the series uniform here, and you've asked that question.
No, you
every single one.
No, I endorse it. I'm just this is how I refuted it, and
I'm not as good as trying to be devil's advocate.
you were caught off. See, you were caught off guard. I knew this question was coming, and I just felt I'm going to beat you over the head with it.
Touche. But yeah, that's how would I hold it up? With one arm.
That was good. That was good. Joey, what do you think?
Why they're not the least useless?
Yeah, it's a phrasing.
Yeah, odd phrasing.
Yeah.
All right, how about I rephrase it a little bit differently for Joey?
Go for it.
Why would they be considered the most important for a pack?
Well, it's a different thing entirely. But
that is a different thing entirely.
Do you feel they're the most important?
Yeah.
I'm going to second that, actually.
Yeah. I mean, they wear so many different job titles. Their job is so encompassing in even daily Garu life. You know, I mean, it's everything from, potentially opening a moon bridge and cutting out, 3 days of driving across the country in a stolen vehicle, to the rite of talisman dedication. So we're not naked when we shift out. Just saying. Like, it's every little aspect. It's, doing the proper rites to the ancestors. It's showing the spirits that we need them, we want them, and getting their help. Upholding the packs. Upholding the, even Kinderheart.
Which is the totem in our it is a homebrew totem for our sept. But let's jump onto that. Yeah, it's placating the Cairn totems. It's how about the rite of Cairn building that allows those to exist in the first place. The work as a spiritual leader, a confessor, a guide. The Theurges arguably do more for the nation than any other 2 or 3 auspices combined.
Interesting. Huh. I never thought of it that way. Oh, that's really cool, though. All right, well, then let's kind of pivot back to Sekhmet.
Okay.
Because I'd say he's probably one of my top 3 favorite of the NPCs.
Well, thank you.
He is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Sekhmet's been there since maybe the very beginning of our entire PAX story.
Chapter 4.
Was it 4?
It's chapter 4.
2 or 3.
Okay, well, moving on.
But give me a good Sekhmet story.
A good Sekhmet story. Man, I don't know.
That Hunter hasn't heard before?
Well, no, that's easy because you got to keep in mind, as I mentioned before, is that I will tweak characters, as I go and in different iterations. So this is a new iteration of Sekhmet that you're dealing with. Something that's always been true is he's been the leader of a pack called the Silent Howl, and they've always been a pretty well-known pack. They take on the messenger role. They join Sekhmet in his doing the messenger thing.
Yep.
Globe-trotting, adventure, those were those kind of stories back then. And the difference this time around is I made Sekhmet kind of a prima donna. I thought it would be fun if in this version he not only read his own press, but maybe he had a hand in writing some of it. And it's been a lot of fun. But, I can think back to a time when, the pack again, the Silent Howl, there's this big, I don't want to say argument, but I'll say a heated meeting over how to infiltrate this skyscraper. There are files here on floor X, and I mean this was a long time ago, guys. So bear with me on the details. But the MacGuffin is on floor X of this stupid high rise, and we have to get it. Time is a factor, so we can't wait till closing. We can't wait till to off hours. It's tainted like crazy, so we could try the Umbra, but that's not a better solution.
No.
We need a distraction. We need this. We need that. And in the pack, they're in their apartment. They're in the living room and they're arguing. We'll do this. No, that won't work. That's stupid. We'll do this. Sekhmet is not, however. He's sitting on the floor of the apartment, building a pyramid of empty beer bottles.
In the middle of an argument, someone's just kind of playing.
The leader of the pack.
Okay.
Is just completely tuned out to this nonsense. It is building a pyramid. What are you doing, you idiot? Well, I love my material correspondence.
Gotcha.
So I was building that as an offering to the glass elemental that I summoned.
Gotcha.
Okay.
To get his help to cause a distraction. And I actually had convinced the elemental that it would be more impressive if there was more of it. And a great way for there to be more of it would be to shatter all of the windows in that skyscraper at the same time.
Oh.
I saw where that was going. Why one big piece when you can have thousands and thousands of little tiny pieces of glass?
Everyone can worship your splendor.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We got lightning and thunder.
Oh, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get it too.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm a big fan of material correspondence as a Theurge.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love it. So when I like to play around with shit like that all the time.
You have any other smaller examples?
Top of my head, I summoned well, that's not really smaller, but I summoned a sandstorm to cover our escape from the desert at one point. Kind of got into the shit over Elman Gordo. It's like, oh. So, yeah.
All right. Well, then you said Sekhmet was the leader of that pack.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard it very often, but how could a Theurge be considered a good leader over your typical Around or even Philodox?
Well, I don't know how to answer this without being a jerk. Was definitely smarter than an Around.
Okay.
That's mean and unfair, and I don't mean that. Because, your mileage may vary.
Right.
But I would point out that a Theurge, especially one that deals with spirits often, might be more inclined to come up with
an out-of-the-box solution.
There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the Theurges are global in their thinking. Your standard Ahraun, they have a hammer and all of their problems are nails.
I like that. I mean, again, we're generalizing here.
Yeah,
but
yeah. And, I'm playing an Ahraun, so guess what? Your Philodoxes can get into debates.
Right.
And, they can lose themselves in, trying to figure out the best quote way.
Well, also at the end of the day, there's right and there's wrong, and maybe there's shades of gray in between, but a Theurge doesn't see the white, the black, and the shades of gray. They also see the purple and the green and the yellow and the mauve and the, I don't even know if that's a color. What do we call that?
Yeah. Blurbbleberry?
What?
The Lurbbleberry. Absolutely. So...
Sounds like a bad cake.
What do you got against cake?
I
what do you got against Blurbbleberry?
Everything, considering I've never heard it before.
Well,
I don't like change.
The schools have failed you, sir.
I don't like
public
change.
schools, guys. I mean, Jesus.
I know it's public. You don't know that.
But I mean, there you go. And I mean, to be fair, in the interest of fairness, I mean, this wasn't your question, but fuck it. In the case of Sekhmet, he was more the leader because of his reputation and his worldliness. He while not a diplomat, had been around and seen enough and had enough of a reputation that he was kind of the guy to call the shots. Because, hey, maybe they're in Marrakesh today, maybe they're, in Italy tomorrow, and now they're in Kansas.
Sekhmet had the seniority.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, again, wasn't really relevant, but we're throwing it out there. We're talking about it.
That's a thing, too. That can totally happen.
Now, back to Hurricane Jasmine.
Oh, boy.
Shit.
Would she be a good leader? I mean, clearly we know the answer is no. But why don't you tell the listeners why not?
Funny. Okay, are we specifically talking Hurricane Jasmine?
Because those are two very different answers.
Yeah.
Okay, well then...
Do you want both answers?
Sure.
Okay. Hurricane Jasmine, no. She's a one-man band. She travels on her own. She flies into town. She wrecks shit. She kills a bunch of vampires, and she's out. That's Hurricane Jasmine. She doesn't want to be bogged down. She doesn't want to pack. She's got too much fun to have.
Okay, so how about the Jasmine Rose that you played specifically?
Yeah, I ended up rolling that pack and becoming the leader. It was kind of an accident, but they were screwing up. I mean, we got into a gunfight with vampires.
Well, it was security too.
Yeah.
Ironically, the Silent Howl was there for that job.
Yeah. The Silent Howl was there. That was pretty funny.
Ironic.
Maybe that's where she met Sekhmet.
No, they met before, remember?
Yep.
Because your write-up was not the point.
Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah.
So they got into this gunfight, and, Jasmine took the Alpha's gun and started popping off shots, ran out of ammo, handed him the gun and said, "Reload me," and he did.
Just took the gun right from him, huh?
Yeah. And, was that the battle that she ended up jumping on the flaming vampire, or was that a different one?
Same battle.
Okay, yeah, no, they somehow set a vampire on fire, and
That's perfect.
Yeah, and they had to take it down. They had to finish it off, and she ended up jumping on it to kill it. So yeah, when she's got to jump on a flaming vampire to get the job done, these dudes are idiots. And
I hope there's a pool nearby.
No, she was kind of pissed. She was like, then when they got back to the sept, she told the leadership that they were idiots and they shouldn't have been allowed in the field.
It was actually pretty awesome. Because she was going to the sept, to their home sept by coincidence.
Right.
There was a rite that was going to be happening soon that she wanted to see. It's one of these. It was unique to that location. She wanted to see it. So crazy random happenstance. We're all going the same way. It's almost like a storyteller had a plan. So so they get there, and she enters the bond. She does her home announcement,
which they didn't do.
In their own sept, they didn't do?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bad idea.
And, she gets into the bond, and she immediately has to speak to the elders. And she walks to the head of the council of elders, and she takes a knee. And, she learned the elders, and she's like, Cassandra, blah, blah, blah. My name is. She does the proper introductions. And the elder is impressed, because kids today. It's just like, how may I help you then, young Jasmine? These children have no business in the field. They are going to get talented Garu killed. It was irresponsible and reckless to let them out of the sept in the first place, and I challenge this idiot for alpha.
Wow.
And the guy who played the alpha, he went pale. His jaw he had no idea this was coming.
Oh, man. Did you make him cry, Joey?
Yeah, it was close. I think he wanted to vomit.
He rocked his world.
Yeah, and I think I did it to First Blood. And
yep, it was a challenge. It was combat to First Blood, and you won.
Yeah, like, I think I did, like, a backflip over him and tagged him with a claw or something. It was just, yeah. He was gobsmacked.
It was really cool.
But, like, somebody in the Howl almost got really badly hurt.
Yeah.
And it was over something stupid that should have never happened.
No, it's true.
So essentially she saved them.
No, she did, you would argue she did the right thing. It was just a baller fucking move. She's there for 2 stories.
And then took over as alpha of that pack.
Right. But I mean, it was
been running for how long at that point?
Yeah, but I mean, this is a great example of playing the character. Because, Joey knew she wouldn't be in town 3 days from now.
Yeah.
So she's certainly not going to continue playing in this game. But it was right for the character to do, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. So rude, Joey.
It wasn't me. It was Jasmine.
Also, was she rude? She did the Howl of Announcement. She introduced herself formally. She took a knee. She asked permission to speak freely. All of those things were very polite, Danny. I don't know what you're talking about.
How long was that group playing together before Joey got there?
Oh, that was the end of the first Chronicle, so I want to say it was about 12 or 13 stories.
Okay. Well, then I'll give Joey a little credit at that point, because at that point that group should have known better.
Yeah. And, like, take care of business. And if somebody says, give me your gun, don't give them your gun.
But use it first. If you had to use it, that means he wasn't.
Exactly. And, like, when she ran out of bullets, she just, like, full arm handed the gun back to him and said, reload me, to the alpha. And he took the gun, reloaded it, and handed it back to her.
Now, some people might argue, well, that's just being a good teammate. But then there's also the argument of, well, what were you doing that you had time to be reload monkey? Like, why do you think that's your job? Is to just wait for people to run out of bullets.
Mr. Alpha?
Exactly.
Who needs the next magazine? Who needs it? I got it right here.
Right? Exactly.
Does anyone like a water or a quiche?
A quiche.
Yeah, why not? Maybe a little too. What else you got for us, Danny?
No, it's kind of it. I mean, just the good leaders part, and then I guess really just final thoughts.
Oh wow! All right.
Unless you guys have any other statements you want to make.
Well, I do notice that he didn't ask us how we would convince a new player to play a Theurge.
And I'll take that one right from you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, so I don't have to repeat it.
Right? No, I wouldn't.
That's my answer too.
Yeah, the Theurge and the Galliard are the 2 most complicated, most involved auspices in the game, and they're rewarding, and they're interesting. And this is not the Galliard episode; we'll get there. But the Theurge in particular, I think, is really rewarding. It's really fun, and it can be challenging in like the best ways.
But I think you need to have your nuts and bolts gameplay on lockdown.
I agree. You really need to know what the fuck you're doing. Because here's the thing, and we've talked about similar things in other episodes. Mm-hmm. You can compensate from having like a shitty out route.
Right.
That can happen. Like, this guy's bad at it, but we can work around it. Someone's a crappy ragabash. You're probably, if you have a bad Theurge.
Oh, life is bad.
Yeah, it's it's a detriment to your group. You notice.
Yeah.
You know, and like an unexperienced group, maybe they don't notice because they're not aware, you know, of what the potential. Mm-hmm. But it can really damage a group.
Yeah.
So no, if you're new, don't play a Theurge right away. Not unless you're really willing to hit the ground running and do the homework.
So you're saying it's more of a higher skill gap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, if somebody's willing to put in the homework...
Right, but you have to do the work.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're playing a crappy Theurge. And again, you're a little bit screwing over your team.
Yeah.
All right, so any advice for those who are trying that out, other than the homework?
Well, I think that's the main thing. You know, you can make decisions, and when we go back to that example of the Jasmine versus the Vedoma, you can have a different outlook and make different decisions as to how to tackle a scenario, but you need to understand the scenarios first.
Yeah, maybe read the chapter in the Book of Auspice and really, really figure out what your jobs are, and then, you know, think about how you can meet those.
If you're willing to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you look at this and you go, that seems like, well, then this is not the Auspice for you. At least not right now.
But if it's like a new pack of all new players, somebody's going to have to bite that bullet.
True.
So, you know, maybe you can work with the storyteller and run some spirit communication training exercise runs.
I think that's a great idea.
So every pack should at least have a Theurge in it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a must-have in my book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ideally, a pack should have one of everything, but you definitely need a Theurge.
Yeah.
All right. Then I guess final thoughts.
I think those were my final thoughts. Every pack needs a Theurge. Go.
Right?
Okay. I mean, if you guys got nothing else, then we hop over to the corner.
I'm not going in the corner with you, Danny.
Okay, find the other corner.
I'm not going in the corner with you, Danny.
Fine. The Cubs corner.
We got a question for the Cubs. I got a question for the Cubs corner.
All right.
Hit me with the Cubs corner question. You know what?
All right.
Hit yourself with a Cubs corner question, because I probably don't have the answer to it.
All right, host of the show right now, Daniel Tyson. We've got one coming in from Eric, who says, I'd love to hear you guys detail on building a sept.
That's definitely you, man. This is your story.
Yeah, host of the show, Danny. How did we build a sept?
Temporary host of the show, Danny, who still doesn't know shit about storytelling.
Okay, temporary fill-in, Danny.
Yes.
How do we... Person sitting in Danny's seat, how do we build a sept?
Well, this is a terrible trick.
Okay.
What I just did here, this is a terrible trick to pull on Danny. But no, we did get, you know, Eric was the first one, and that's why he gets the credit, but there were a couple other people that kind of second and thirded the question, as they'd love to hear about, you know, what goes into building, you know, your homebrew kind of sept. And, you know, we like the question so goddamn much that we're not going to answer it, because that's going to be an episode in the future, so stay tuned on that.
Oh.
We're doing an entire episode on our sept?
On building a sept.
On how we would build a sept.
Yep, I got 3 or 4 homebrews I can run out there, but it's such a big question that I felt and it's a good question.
It is
that
a good
it deserves
question.
its own episode, but we didn't get to it. You know, it was one of those questions that we asked people to come in with questions, and then we forgot like 5 of them. You know, oops. So I wanted to address that. You know, we it's a counterfeit Cubs corner is what that was.
Okay. Well,
Joey's got a real one.
I have an actual Cubs corner question.
Yeah.
Well, before you ask it, we'll thank you, Eric, and all the other ones who were asking the questions then, because we need those, and that's what's keeping the Cubs corner alive.
Exactly.
No, that's true. That's true.
So my authentic Cubs corner question. What books should I get to start a game?
It's a really good question, host Daniel Tyson. What do you think?
W20. I mean, you only want one at a time. Go with W20.
Yeah, I mean, W20 has everything you're going to need to get off the ground.
Well, the argument is that's, you know, a core book, whether it's
Right.
W20, second edition, third revised, whichever one that might be is a core, is the only one that you need. Mm-hmm. But I think we can do better than that.
Oh, I know we can do better than that.
So let's do better than that, and let's assume you're gonna go with number 20. Or I'm sorry, with Werewolf 20, because that's the most recent version, and it's a great version. Just bottom line.
Yeah.
So you are going to probably want number 20, but you definitely want the Book of Auspices.
Yes.
That's going to be a huge boon to both storyteller and player. Storyteller's Handbook, the revised edition, is a good book. That's going to help with your storytellers. Player's Guide to the Garu, which again, both of those are revised books. You can hand that over to your players. Let's see, the Tri books, obviously, are kind of a must-have.
It's like you're making a grocery list.
Well, you're going to do it, you do it right?
But
True.
if you're on a limited income, say you're a student or, you just don't have that much free money floating around.
Sure.
Core book first.
Yeah, core book first.
Second. What's number 2?
Damn.
I'd say Auspices, but that's me. You're a storyteller, not me.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is there's the storyteller needs, and then there's the player's needs.
Right.
The Book of Auspices is a fantastic resource for your players.
Right.
But a storyteller's guide will be a great resource for your storyteller. And so, who needs more help?
Right. And also, there are, divide and conquer options. Because if you're starting a game, you've got multiple people.
Yes.
And you each can buy different books.
Exactly. When we started, not us here at this table, but when I started playing, way back when, we were in, junior high. Mm-hmm. And so we would split the cost of the books, evenly so that we could afford to get books more often.
Exactly. So, there are different ways to go about getting books.
No, absolutely. And, you point out the drive-through RPG. You can get the PDFs, which are much cheaper, or you can get the print-on-demands, which are really nice. And if you can do them, do them.
Yeah.
But if for now it's the $5 print-on-demand, the PDF, that you can we can all read this for now.
Right. So yeah, between the PDF or book sharing,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows, maybe you have a used bookstore in the area and you can crawl through for
If you have a used bookstore with Werewolf books there, it's a miracle. And write in and tell us where that is.
But there's also that that Facebook group that the guy has that he you can buy, sell, or trade White Wolf books.
I did not know that. That sounds like something that should probably go in the description of the episode.
Yeah.
That sounds like a useful thing.
Yeah. I can link that. I've run across it a couple times, and there's a fair amount of werewolf around there.
Excellent.
So.
But yeah, if you have a local store that has some books, that has actual the werewolf books, write in and tell us where, because I'm missing 2.
Ooh,
Two.
Which ones are you missing?
Two authentic ones. I don't want to say out loud.
Yeah.
Because at that point it sounds like I'm saying, "Hey, you should send me a book," and that's not what I'm doing.
We'll talk
I'll
about
get my own
off
damn
air.
books.
That's fair. All right, well.
Okay,
Unless
Tanny.
you guys got something else.
Take it home. Wrap it up.
All right. I don't know about wrapping it up, but,
Do you want me to drop a
thanks
beat?
for dropping students. Nope. We want to thank you for listening to the show. Sorry it's been a shitstorm because Daniel Tyson is not your normal host and is not very good at this. But thanks for listening anyway. You want to contact us, you know where to reach. We got the email. Where is that at, Porter?
It's ridgeacrosspodcast@gmail.com, you weirdo.
Okay. And you want to get a hold of mainly, specifically, Joey? Where can they reach you there?
I'm on Twitter @RageAcross.
You want to hit specifically Porter up? He's over on Facebook.
It's a true story.
You want to have a good time and party with all 3 of us? Most likely, we'll be all there on the Discord. You want to
Phrasing?
No, it's it's true. Get over to the Discord, hang out with us, with the rest of the crew. Tom shows up there. We get better the time. We got the regular. We got the listeners come in, hang out. Someone will bring streamers. That might be a thing.
Is there a pinata involved?
There could be.
I'm looking into Silly String. Check out the forums. Get the link to the Discord. Become a member. Become part of our digital caterer. Come hang out with us.
Damn right. And hey, contest. Don't forget the contest.
And the contest starts when, Porter?
Starts August 4th.
All right. Check out the forums, the Discord for all those details. And on behalf of everybody else here, I want to thank you for listening and be excellent to each other.
See you later, everybody.
Slaughterhouse are we up to now? Like, I don't know, 8, 9, what are